Well, here I sit on a Sunday morning, waiting to talk to the fellas, and I got a mouthful of Vegemite toasty. Yes, it's breakfast time. It's 8:30 on a Sunday morning, or thereabouts. 8:36. I'm running a little bit behind schedule, and about to have a chat with the guys. And before I did so, I just wanted to say again a very big thank you to CB Giddy for sponsoring the show. And if you're interested in supporting the show, you can by using our affiliate link down in the episode description, where you can get 10% off your first 3 orders. Otherwise, thank you to those people who have been using the affiliate link just basically to support the show whenever they're ordering. It is greatly appreciated. Please don't think it's not. It's definitely greatly appreciated. Okay, well, with no further ado, I'm just firing up the old computer here and getting things happening. Let's get in touch with the guys. All right, guys. Jesse and Joe have left the building.
Deserted us.
They've deserted us. No, it's all right. They've got things on. They have things on. We knew about that. That's okay. So just Darren and I today, and we're going to talk about a couple of things.
So it's going to be a boring podcast.
Yeah, never boring. Never boring. So again, it's with thanks to CB Giddy. And, of course, Steve and Cindy at Killer Strings for helping support the show. We really appreciate that. Today, I wanted to talk just about a couple of things. First thing is wiring and soldering, etc.
Things I can't do.
Well, I think things that you're doing better now. I think there's certain things that you're doing now which have made life a bit easier for you, certainly.
Yeah.
And one thing was getting a decent
soldering iron.
I often see a lot of people complaining about soldering and issues with their soldering, and quite often there's usually a couple of reasons for that problem. Probably the biggest reason is bad preparation. I would say.
I probably still do that.
Yeah, bad prep is probably the biggest issue. The next issue I would say would be soldering
iron. When you say prepping to me means prepping for zombies.
Prepping for zombies?
A prepper?
Oh, okay.
Apocalypse. Come on, Adam.
All right. it's early morning, Darren. What do you want from me, man? So preparation. Bad soldering irons that just don't retain their heat. They don't get the heat, and then probably what it'd come down to is poor technique. So let's go through those in order. So the first one was bad preparation. So being prepared is really important with soldering because it really comes down to having everything set up in front of you, ready to go. That's the first thing. Whether or not you've got those little helping hands, those little metal alligator clip things which stand on a base, they can be really handy. You can get those for about $10 off eBay or off Temu and all that sort of stuff. Don't be afraid of using some of that cheap stuff to start with, to get yourself started. Like things like the helping hands, I use them a lot for pedal building. The other thing is having making yourself a little 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter little frame, right? So you get a little frame of wood, and on top of that you put a a little just a piece of plywood. Glue that together or screw it together or whatever. So it kind of looks like a picture frame with a backing. Flip it so that it's upside down, and then screw some holes, drill some holes through. 10 mil hole, 7.5 mil holes. That's if you use the smaller pots. If you use the bigger, like the bigger CTS pots or the full size potentiometers, you probably want a 10 mil hole for that. And then what you could do is you you just screw everything onto the board upside down. And that way it doesn't move. It won't move while you're applying solder. So that's one thing. Giving yourself little, because we all like making jigs, and that's a pretty good jig. That can work sometimes. The other thing is laying it all out on your guitar or in your guitar, and then doing the work, which is what I normally do. I usually put especially with my juke joint rockers and anything where I'm making the top, I'll usually screw everything into place. I'll have the pickup set in place, the volume and the tone control set in place, and then usually I'll then have to do something with because usually what happens is I'll then run the output jack through the back of the guitar. So that's that's where I might use helping hands, the little clips, or I might just have a big heavy set of pliers sitting there gripping the output jack so that it doesn't move when I'm applying solder. That's probably that realistically is one of the things that you could do. Stop things moving around, because if things are moving around, it's going to make life very difficult for you to get the job done. Excuse me. The other thing, as far as preparation is concerned, is a lot of potentiometers that you get, especially alpha potentiometers. CTS not so much, but a lot of Far Eastern potentiometers usually have like an oily coating from the manufacturing process. And the problem with that is that when you apply solder, especially if you've got a pretty crappy soldering iron, and especially if you're using the nickel silver stuff, the lead-free solder, because that lead, I hate using lead-free. Everything I do, I use lead solder for everything I do, because it's just, you just got to be sensible with it. It's just one of those things. You just don't, you don't lick your fingers after it, or you don't chew on it while you're working. Why
not?
Well, because it's as much as I love heavy metal, I don't particularly want it in my body.
Oh, come on.
I'm not Roman.
Knock until you try it.
I'm not Roman. I don't drink from lead goblets. So that would probably be the biggest things as far as setting things up for yourself, and just have yourself ready to go. The second thing is having your soldering iron. Oh, sorry, let me get back to the pot. My apologies. So when you've got the pot there, the best thing to do is get a little bit of... There are two things you can do. One, you can use nail polish remover if you wanted to. That can work sometimes. I just usually hit it with some 240 grade sandpaper. I just rub it on the back of the sandpaper, on the top of the pot. Give it a good blow, and that roughs the top up. Some people like to use the end of a screwdriver. Only issue with using the end of a screwdriver, I think, is if you slip, you can cut yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't stab yourself. Make life easy. And I've never had a problem doing this with pots, so it works easy. It's not a difficult thing to do. So just rub it, and that way when you're soldering, especially your earth cables, when you're soldering earth to the top of the pot and or bending lug number 1 back up to the pot to earth that lug, it just makes life a lot easier. It means that the solder will adhere a lot faster. Because what will happen is, if you don't, the solder bubbles on the top, and it doesn't grip. And what ends up happening is two things. One, people get really frustrated, which can cause injury, because then people start pressing really hard. And with any tool, as soon as you're forcing a tool, you're risking slippage, or you could move. You could put the solder through the timber of your top of your guitar. You could solder your own hand. You could in solder. It's hot. Even crappy soldering irons still get hot. So, that's just take your time with it. And if you notice that it's bubbling, you're getting like a yellowy residue coming up around. Stop. Put your solder down. Give it another sand. Just hit it with a bit of sandpaper. Or if you're still using the screwdriver technique, it just means it's not gripping. And what will happen is if you do that and you overheat the unit, you can actually damage it. It won't work properly. So the soldering irons, even bad soldering irons, still get very hot. So that's the thing. Second thing is get yourself a decent soldering iron. What was yours? I mean, I've got one which is worth about $100 Australian. So,
well, the new one I bought is a trade frame.
Yep.
Soldering iron.
And that's the one that's got the adjustable temperature. It's got a proper transformer in the unit that develops heat, sends it to the soldering iron, and the soldering iron has its own little stand, and the soldering iron plugs into that. So any of those soldering irons that you've got that plug directly into a wall socket, they're no good. The two things, actually, they're no good and they're unsafe.
The only thing it needs is a decent user.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of this little podcast, is like just trying to make people the decent user. That's the thing. I whack mine up almost to full heat. Like, I sit mine up, I think, mine goes from 1 to 6 or something like that. Mine's sitting up around 4.5. And that gets bloody hot. And I never have issues melting solder. Again, I like using lead-based solder. Nickel silver stuff is harder to use. It doesn't like being resoldered. That's the big thing. Usually if you make a mistake with that stuff, what happens is you've got to use the braid or the sucker and get rid of it and then start again. It doesn't like being resoldered. Whereas lead-based solder, like for example, if you've got an old, especially you guys who might work on old guitars, you guys will know what I'm talking about. Especially old Japanese guitars and things like that where they use lead-based solder. You can actually just remelt the solder with the soldering iron and it just goes back to new. That's the thing that I really love about lead-based solder. It remelts. If you make a mistake, you can clean it up. The other thing is you only need a little dollop of solder to get the job done. I see a lot of soldering jobs where there's solder caked on the top of the pot. You know what I mean? Like there's as much solder on the top of the pot as there is the top of the pot. You don't need to do that. It really needs to be, just a little circle of solder. That's it. And then you can reapply solder. You can reapply on top of that. So, anyway, I that's me, and that's me using lead-based solder. If I switched over now to using nickel silver, I can guarantee you there would be a learning curve. There really, truly would be, especially building guitar pedals. There definitely would be a learning curve as far as that's concerned. Then the third thing was technique. Okay, so there's something called the rule of 3. And now, again, this works with lead-based solder. That you may need to apply a slightly different strategy to using nickel-silver solder. But what I generally do is use the rule of 3, and that's get things in position, heat the item up that you want to solder for 3 seconds, apply the solder for 3 seconds, take it away, and then leave it for 3 seconds. You know what I mean? And that's the rule of 3. Now, if you wanted to call it rule of 4, if you want to give it a little extra time, that's fine. The only time that I would do more would be for output jacks, because sometimes that metal is a little bit thicker, the output jacks. So again, you might need to do rule of 4. Put the solder on the output jack lug, leave it there for 4 seconds or so, then apply the solder, wait for it to bubble, wait for it to catch. As soon as it catches, you'll see, because it spreads out around the lug, and take your soldering iron away, and then just don't touch it for 3 seconds. But the other thing to do is prep. Solder the cable, solder the tip of the cable, solder the lug. Yeah, I'm like that this morning too. Solder the lug, and then join them together. So you solder the cable, solder the lug, have them prepped, and that's part of your prep. You go back to go back to the first rule, which is prepping. And then apply the soldering iron back again to the lug, the lug on the output jack, for example, and then apply the solder. If you're using one of those Gibson-style three-way switches, the earth lug on a three-way switch, and if you've worked with these guys, you'll know what I'm talking about. Most of us use a three-way switch if we're going to put two pickups in a guitar. Go and look at Del Puckett's videos. He does a lot with switching. I don't. I usually use single pickups. Most of my guitars will just have a single pickup. If Del usually uses two pickups, it'll be a piezo pickup and or a magnetic pickup. And what'll happen is he'll wire them up, but the middle lug, and that's so that he can use piezo by itself, electric pickup by itself on the two outsides, and in the middle they meet. And then you can use a blend of piezo and that's actually. Here you go, Darren. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I've got it on this one.
Show me what you're talking about.
That's it there. That's it there. So for people who are listening, of course, I've got a three-way switch, just like that, and there's a piezo sitting in there. There's a pickup there, and I've got a three-way switch. So in the middle, I can have a blend. On the outsides, I have got either a piezo or the magnetic pickup, and that's basically that. Realistically, is the biggest thing. The middle lug on the three-way switches, you've got to apply a lot of heat to them. And if you're just using a wall plug-in soldering iron, it's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. They just don't get hot enough. And they don't retain the heat. When you apply the solder to the thing that you're heating up, it's transferring heat from the solder to the item that you're heating up. And the problem with those wall-mounted ones, a lot of them, once they'll transfer an initial amount of heat, they lose their heat. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. So if you're going to be doing a lot of soldering, if this is something you really love doing, I've seen people walk away from it because of this. That's the truth. After 13 years of building and supporting, and supporting builders for a long time, especially since 2016, I've seen people walk away from cigar box guitar building and guitar building because they can't solder. Or they get other people to do it, or they buy the kits. Like if you want to buy a pre-soldered kit, you can buy a basic pre-soldered kit from CB Giddy, for example, for $27.39. And that would be their black enclosed 4-pole single coil pickup, those bass pickups. Now, the pickup by itself is $6.79. All right? And this is obviously, I'm on the CB Giddy website. These prices are in American dollars. So people in Europe, the UK, whichever country isn't using American dollars, you have to adjust. Now, I'm sitting here and I'm looking here where there's pickup options. There's pickup options. Now, the first one is pickup only for $6.79 US. That's about $9 Australian for the pickup by itself, which is pretty good. That's pretty good. It's not a bad price at all for that pickup. And I've used them. They're nice pickups. They're actually nice pickups. I've got one. There you go, Dad. I've got one sitting in that.
Oh, yeah.
Nice little guitar. And they've got a nice sound. They're single coil pickups. That's irrelevant right now. So I then there's three options. The first one is pickup only for US $6.79. The next one is pre-wired with a volume pot and jack. Oh, and of course my computer's decided to... and this is why I hate this computer, because it's decided to shit itself. So while I bring that up, Darren, is there any thoughts that you've got?
Thoughts?
Regarding soldering. What's something that you struggle with?
Well, mainly my biggest struggle is holding things the guitar the last guitar I did build, which is my Alex guitar.
Yeah.
I like I was soldering stuff, and I'm pretty sure I sanded the back of the pot, and like nothing was sticking to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything was just.
Were you getting like a goopy, yellowy, browny kind of goopy residue forming around the solder?
Not that I noticed.
Yeah.
I'd have to pull it all apart again to.
Yeah, but it ended up sticking. Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually. So,
yeah. But the more heat you apply to something like that, though, the more chance you've got of actually damaging it, and that's the biggest issue. That damaging the item, getting frustrated, and actually hurting yourself.
And I still have that buzz to it. So
yeah. So I wonder if you've got a dry solder joint. So a dry solder joint is what happens when the solder melts, but it doesn't actually adhere to the thing that you're melting it to, or you end up with an air pocket inside, and for some reason it hasn't actually connected. So that could be a thing. Maybe your solder. So two reasons why that might have happened. One, your soldering iron may not have been hot enough, so turn it up a little hotter, or it's that.
Because at the moment, it's up to 400.
Yeah.
Degree.
Okay, well that's hot enough. That's more than hot enough. So it would be more than likely it's because of that oily residue. Where did you get the pot? Was it an eBay pot, or is it one that I gave you? Could be an Alpha Jack if it's one I gave you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to sand the top of them. You just have to sand the top of them.
Yeah.
Which is a shame in a way, because it's nice when you look at the Alpha, because Alpha make really nice pots. When you actually do it, I love, like, especially when I build the effects pedals and people open it and they see the little word Alpha on the back of the pot. It's really it's a nice little potentiometer. Anyway, so that may be a reason why that's happened. Just coming back to this pickup, just so we said originally that the pickup only was $6.79. Now you got to remember that these are all wired in-house. These are not coming out of China pre-wired. All right, so we're talking about American man hours. All right, so this is you could probably get these harnesses or a harness like this cheaper off eBay or something like that, or Chinese made or something. Whether or not they do them or not, I don't know. But I know for a fact that Ben and the team at CB Giddy, they actually pre-wire these. I'm more than 100% sure that they pre-wire these or for their customers in-house. So these are not just. I don't think these are knocked up offshore. I will clarify, but I think these are all actually done in-house. Now, these pre-wired with volume pot and jack is $27.39. So that works out to be about $36, $37 Australian for a pre-wired harness. And again, and that's basically because of man hours, someone actually having to do it. There's a good amount of work in that. And looking at it, the way they've done it, they've got shrink wrap holding things together. There's work that's gone into that, and you can see where the money's gone. Now, there's also then a deluxe harness with volume, tone, and jack. No, doesn't look like they've got any in stock at the moment. All right, yeah, doesn't look like they've got it in stock right now, that one.
Well, how am I meant to go?
No, it's unavailable. So I would expect that with the tone control and a capacitor then on top of that, you could expect that to be a little bit more expensive again. Sorry, mate, what was that?
I said, how am I meant to go and buy if it's not in stock?
Oh.
Come on,
We can see the options there.
Yeah.
So going back and looking at one of the other items. Now, obviously, I'm looking at CB Giddy. It's if you're using a different supplier, that's perfectly cool. No dramas. But again, I can see here. Okay, now they've got the snake oil mini humbucking pickups. Now this is the 2 set for $32.19, which again is about probably close to $50 Australian for 2 good pickups. I've heard really great things about these snake oil pickups. They're great. They're available in chrome, gold gold is $37.59. Gold always costs more. And black is $36.49. So it would be the powder coating probably on those that's costing more money. Pickup only $32.19 for the set. That's American. Pre-wide with a volume pot and jack. Now that's $37.59, and I'm thinking, is that just pre-wide pickup only? Okay, pre-wide. And then you've got deluxe harness with volume tone and jack is $42.99. Now these are, the pickups are rated at 12.5 ohms. Okay. So the question is, if you're buying 2 pickups by itself for $32.19, I think that's for the 2 pickups. I think pre-wide with volume and jack, I think that might be only just 1 pickup. Yeah, I think that's just one. That's just 1 pickup. Okay, so $37.59 for 1 pickup. All right. Yeah. I'm looking at that, and it looks like that. So look, what am I getting at? Teach yourself to solder. You're going to save a lot of money. You can buy parts separately for a lot less than buying a harness. It's really, really not difficult to get used to doing it, but it takes a little bit of practice. My suggestion is to get some really, 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 find a couple of old junk guitars and practice on those. Make sure you've got the right tools. Again, it comes back to that preparation thing. And then, and that's it, really. Preparation, making sure you got a decent soldering iron, and then working on your technique, working on what works for you. And that would be it. But the biggest issue really is just that goop on the back of pots. If it wasn't for that, it would be a lot easier to actually do. So I suppose that's kind of it. And the thing that inspired today was we got a message. We actually got a message from one of the group members. It was a post. Oh, hang on, where have we got here? Cigar Guitar Builder. Yep. And the post was from, if I just come down to it, it'll be fairly quick post here. Gee whiz, there's people making some incredible stuff. Really incredible stuff. Oh, here it is. Okay. So Owen Mays, who is a rising contributor to the group. 7 hours ago, he said, help! So, being the intellectual electrical giant that I am, I decided to use a twin rail humbucker. It's Iron Gear Jailhouse Rail 2. I don't know where that's from. I'm not sure. I don't. And to chop a pre-wired mini humbucker out of its loom. I think the main issue is that I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay. All right. So what's happened is he had a pre-wired loom harness, right, with a mini humbucker, a volume, a tone, and an output jack. Okay, and what's happened is he wanted to use the rail. Now, rail humbuckers, for those who don't know, are about the size of a normal single coil pickup, like on a Fender Stratocaster, but instead of just having one row of magnets and being single coil, they're twin coils, very, very, very narrow. They've got a more narrow attack, but they are humbucking and usually a bit more aggressive in sound. So think Dave Murray from Iron Maiden. that kind of sound, the sound he gets. So he gets a pretty decent distortion sound out of his pickups. So what happened was he wasn't too sure how to wire up. Now, he had a wiring diagram with the pickup, which is really, really, really helpful. But he wasn't sure what to do. So what he's done is he's detached the earth wire of the mini humbucker, and he's detached the live wire from lug number 3 on the potentiometer. So when you look at a potentiometer and you hold it upside down, right, so you're holding onto the shaft and you're holding it upside down and you're looking at the back of it, and you've got the lugs facing you. You've got 3 lugs sitting up. The one on the right hand side is your earth. That's the one you bend back onto the chassis of the potentiometer. The middle one is your out. That's where you're going to send your signal out. And the other one on the far left-hand side, that is lug number 3. So it goes 1 on the right for earth. Always remember 1 earth. I like thinking like a bit Bob Marley-ish, like 1 earth, earth, number 1. Thinking about that 1 earth. So for me, that was it. I always remembered number 1 being earth. Number 2 is the middle. Number 3 is the live on the outside. And that's where you send that wire in. And that's what kind of got me thinking about it, because he wasn't too sure. But he did ask the question, and everyone, instead of answering the question, everyone was talking about the awesome bridge that he was putting on. No one actually answered the question, so I answered it for him this morning. So, but it was a great question, and it's a really good indicator of what the group is here for. I do like what Michael Breedlove said. He said, "You've come to the right place. You will fit in well. This is your tribe." Yeah, I do like what he said there. But yeah, there's a lot going on. All right, so any other questions, Darren, regarding soldering? And hopefully that's helped people a bit with soldering.
No, I think you pretty much covered it.
So other news coming up. Okay, for here in Australia, if you're in the Sydney region or Western Sydney region and you are listening to the podcast, we do have an event coming up, which is very, very, very cool, which is the Down Under Cigar Box Guitar Festival, which is happening on the 20th and the 21st of September at the Coronation Hotel at Portland, which is just past Lithgow. Room and accommodation is available. Camping sites are available. It's $30 for the ticket for 2 days. Should be a lot of fun, man. We're actually about to put up some promotional tickets for giveaway. So I've put up a cigar box guitar, or I've put up a guitar, 3-string guitar, electric. And Jeff from Crazy Possum Box Guitars has put up an acoustic hubcap guitar for winnings for the raffle. And our friends at CB Giddy, again, an enormous thank you to Ben at CB Giddy, who donated $450 US. No, sorry, it wasn't. So $250. So I'm thinking Australian. $250. He donated $250 US to help us set up the event and to pay for the musicians. So and that's an enormous thing for Ben and the team out there to actually do. And on top of that, they've also, for the raffle, they've also provided a $150. That's US $150. Gift voucher for CB Giddy as well, and that's just amazing. That's just honestly, absolutely incredible. So we've got Killer Strings there as well. So big thanks to Steve Harvey as well and Cindy Morris for supporting us there as well. It's the first event that I've been anyway involved in like this. An enormous thank you goes to Mela Mianti from Barrel Dog Band. Mate, she is the one. she is honestly, Jeff and myself. Jeff's doing a lot as well. Jeff was putting the t-shirts together. He's helped with promotion as well and getting sponsors. I'm blown away, but Mela has just done the most incredible job of getting this together, and it wouldn't have come together without her. Johnny Devilseed as well, in great support. Hoping, Johnny, if you're listening to this, hoping you're feeling better. Johnny's not been very well. But Johnny will be performing at the event as well. Jeff will be doing Cigar Box guitar build demos as well. I'll be emceeing on the night, which is, I'm beside myself excited. 8-Ball Aiken's going to be playing. I'll have a full list of... jump onto YouTube and check out the Down Under Cigar Box Guitar Festival. And it's just going to be so much fun. I cannot wait to go. Darren's going to be helping out. He's going to be...
Probably not much.
And I think it's going to be an amazing time as well. So I think that's it. I think that's what we wanted to talk about. Big thank you for everybody. Okay, before I go, I really want some comments back from you guys. I was putting together a podcast on my way to work over the last few days, trying to put things together, and because I wanted to talk about the group. I've got some ideas for the group going forward over the next few months. I don't know how you guys feel about the group being private. I'm having problems with it being a private group. I never wanted it to be a private group. I think we've solved the problem of the fake accounts. We're on it as an admin team. We've still got a lot of people to get through. Those people are already in the group. The biggest issue that we had was that the group was set up to allow the algorithm to pick and choose who was approved. And I've turned that off. So now when we're getting group requests, it's coming in, and we as an admin, Darren, myself, Joe and Jesse, are going through the approval process and checking that people have answered the questions. If people haven't answered the questions, I'm still going in and looking at their profile. If their profile looks legit, but they may be from another country, maybe not English speaking countries, as long as their profile A is active and B is showing and demonstrating that they are interested in music. It doesn't have to be cigar box guitars, but if they've got images of themselves playing, and that's not just one, if there's images of them playing in different posts, like playing live or playing at home, or even if it's playing guitar or harp or banjo or whatever it is, if it looks legitimate, I have been accepting. And I've been saying, okay, I understand maybe they can't sign all those. But the whole point of the matter is that at least it's been flagged by Facebook so that we can check it. And that's the thing. So I have been letting some through, not all. If I go in and look at a profile and it just looks completely bogus, that's a no from me. You know, that's it. But you know, I love the fact that that it was an open group, that anyone in the world could join the group. It didn't matter who you were, where you were from, what gender you were. It had nothing to do with anything. It was just free and easy, and everyone here has just been amazing. So, I'm considering moving to a situation where we do open it back up to being public again. But to do that, I'm probably going to have to bring in maybe 2 to 3 moderators. So I think we have enough admin. I think the 4 of us as admin is fine, but I think if we can get another 3, maybe 2 or 3 moderators to help with the approval process, because I think we do get a lot. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to overburden us. We've all got busy lives, and it's hard to go and check through all of those, all of those people as they come through. But I think we knocked the nail on the head. April and May was really bad. because we were getting someone like 200 fake, requests a day, and that was the big issue. And the problem was that, as I said, Facebook was allowing most of them through. So we'll look at that. But to do that, we've got to put some more moderators on to help out, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I know this is a group that I started the group in 2016, so I'm very, very, very connected to the group. It is my baby. So for me to actually invite people into co-admin with me was actually I'm a bit of a control freak, and I do tend to like micromanaging a little bit. So for me to do that, it had to be 4 people that I really trusted, and I've got that with Darren, Joe, and Jesse for sure. So I'd be interested in your feedback as listeners. So whether you message here, a few people have been putting some comments up in the on Podbean and or etc. Do give us 5 stars if you're listening on iTunes, and it helps us go up in the rankings there. Now, the other thing I'm thinking of doing is, you might remember we practiced doing video footage, like videoing the interview. Today's would have been a bit dull. But it would be nice to visit people in their workshops. Like when Jesse was showing us his Oompa Loompas, it would have been nice for people to have been actually able to see that, not just the admin or the people directly talking here. So to do that, though, is a lot more work. It's a lot more work because there's a lot of editing involved in doing that, and what I'm thinking of actually doing is doing the videos as well as the audio, but doing it on Patreon. So my idea would be, because obviously there is a cost factor to actually putting on the show. We also I want to do a lot more stuff on YouTube as well. Now, YouTube is always free and always will be free. But one of the things that I want to do on YouTube is actually...
Not anymore.
Well, ad revenue and stuff like that's a big one. I don't get any ad revenue. We've only got 2,010 subscribers, which is fine. But even then, you've got to have a lot more views to make any money off it. I'm not worried about making money off it. But what I would like to do is I would like to do comparisons. And for example, the thing I was thinking of is a lot of people are using bridges, the steel bridges, and you can get them on eBay, you can get them on Temu, you can get them on, CB Giddy, you can get them at MGB, you can get them at CBG Emporium, you can get them all over the place. You can get them pre-made. People make them themselves. What I would like to do is buy up a whole heap of pickups and say, okay, well, this is a team, and then sit there like with you. Right, maybe because we live close by, and actually do a comparison. Look at them, open them up. Are they? What are the prices? What are the in Aussie dollars, obviously, but what are the prices on each of the item? Are they the same? Is there a weight difference? Like weigh them. That you would consider that the heavier the bridge, the more alloy, the maybe there's better noise transfer or better. A better tone transfer. Depending on what it was. Buying pickups, getting things, looking at pickups, actually getting some flat. Now, we did flat pickups at the very, very beginning of the show when I still had the store. And we did that. I did that video, but we didn't look at actually how the pickup was made. So, I know, Market MGB does flat pickups, so we get one from him. We get one from Michael Breedlove. We get one of Ben's ones. We get one off the internet, off eBay or whatever. And we get them all there. We can measure them, we can weigh them again, we can have a look at the thickness of them, and we can actually do a proper comparisons.
Yeah.
But I can't pay for that. That's the thing. I can't take money out of my household funds and pay for those things. It would be cool to actually go, okay, well, we've got some funds. Why don't we buy a kit from CB Giddy and a kit from MGB? Here, Darren, you have the CB Giddy kit. I'll have an MGB kit. Let's build it. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's put them together, and let's do that. And not to say his is better than his or his is better than his, but just to give an honest comparison and say, hey, I really like the way this was done. I like the way this was done. you know, that's the thing. I think there's so much we could do with this program, but I need people's support. So the idea would be that the podcast, as usual, would always be free, okay? But in a cut format, just down to about 40. Like, we've gone over 40 minutes just talking about what we're talking about today. So it just hit 45 minutes just then. So we could, you know, I would release maybe a 40-minute podcast for free, 45-minute podcast for free. At $1 a month, we could release an uncut podcast with everything, all the cussing and all of the, like, everything there, just raw, unfiltered. And maybe for $5, we'll probably have to use Vimeo, because that's how that connects. And I'll look into it, but maybe that's where we do the interviews that we're doing now, for example, at $5 a month. People get that video content, they get everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, listeners,
we probably need to start doing some more promotion.
And I think
promoting it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. But I can't do anything until I get a new computer.
Yeah.
So, because my computer just will not do video. I'm currently talking to you on the iPad, and the iPad's not powerful enough I can't record. All of my screen recording equipment is on this laptop, and I can't screen record on the iPad, and it just doesn't work. So, and then again, it comes down to filtering, and it comes down to, you know, actually putting it all together and editing and getting rid of the dead air and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of work involved. It costs about $400 a year just to put on the podcast as it is, it is in hosting fees for me, and for the rental, because it's all subscription now. You don't own anything anymore, of the recording equipment, the visual and the audio recording equipment on this computer. So, you know, Ben helps. Ben certainly helps with sponsoring the show, but to do anything more, we need the support of the listeners, and I think that comes down to having a Patreon. I did try it before, but we didn't promote it. We didn't really push it, and there were some people actually helping out at $1 a month, which was great before I opened the shop. You know, and it was lovely. It was really nice to see people supporting. So, but just remember the most important way that you guys as listeners, and we'll finish up now. The most important way you guys as listeners can support the show, very simply, is just tell your friends about it and share it. And that's the problem with having a private group. Right there. Because anything that's on the group can't leave the group. I can't even share the fortnightly cover band challenge to the new cover band challenge group where I archive everything, because this group is private. See what I mean?
Because of fake people.
Yeah, because of all the fakers. But, you know, so I think realistically to move forward, we've got to make the group open again. But I really want you guys, as listeners, our listeners, and to let us know what you think. And also you guys at admin, you know, yourself, Jesse and Joe, to let me know what you think, and maybe we'll have a chat about it. All right, guys, I think that's it.
All right.
We'll finish up. So, Darren, you going to start a new build at all anytime soon, or?
No, I'm still struggling to get through the ones I've got.
Yep.
I've got Zach's one sitting on the table.
Yep.
It's been sitting there for the last month.
Yep.
I even attempted to do a stomp box.
Oh, how cool! Oh, that's awesome.
So that'll probably take me another 6 months to do.
Yeah. Look, can I just mention one more thing? I just want to mention one more thing. So I know Alex Leschner's jumping out of his skin at the moment, thinking we're finishing up. I just want to take a second to talk about Alex. Now, we've got another group which is called the Aussie. What do we call it? The Aussie CBG swap off. The great Aussie CBG swap off. I'm dyslexic, guys. I've got too many groups and things I'm running with at the moment. My brain is not... I'm in brain fart mode. Alex sent me a guitar, and I've got to tell you, man, it's the great Aussie CBG Builder Swap. Sorry, that's it. It's the most incredible thing. It is, and I've done a video. Everyone's seen the guitar, and they've heard the guitar, and it sounds amazing, and it's just wonderful. But the other thing Alex did was he sent me 6 cigar boxes, and realistically at great expense to himself. And I am very, 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 very thankful. I've had an incredibly busy week this week with work. So I haven't been down in the workshop very much this week. And I managed to go down and do a video which included me opening the whole thing and pulling out the cigar boxes. But I couldn't put everything onto... So I had to cut that part out and just do the guitar, showing the guitar, because it was already... I think I'd gotten up to like 30 minutes worth of list, and I needed to cut it down and make it a bit shorter. Alex has sent me 6 the most beautiful cigar boxes that you've ever seen. They are just gorgeous. One of them is covered in leather, like leatherette. It's a plush leather, and it's just incredible. The other one is a yellow Macanudo cigar box, which is rounded. It's very thin. It's rounded. And it's the cigar box that Mike Snowden shows on one of his very old YouTube videos that were done for like, I think some online craft magazine or something. And you'll see it online if you look up Mike Snowden YouTube. And it's not on his YouTube channel. Okay, but you'll see this, and I've always loved this. And so I was actually mildly in shock when I opened up the box and saw that cigar box, because that is just my all-time favorite. It's just incredible. So I'm actually going to build that one, and I'm going to do an acoustic one, because Mike Snowden did an acoustic one, like a piezo powered one, and I'm going to do a fretted one. I'm probably not building any more piezo guitars anymore for sale. I'm just going to build them for myself, because they're just not moving. 2 months or... Yeah, no, they're just not moving. I had a sale this week. Every sale that I've had so far, realistically, people want electric pickups, so I just figure why fight it? It's Australia. This is what we want. Australian cigar box guitar players want electric pickups. I've just built this one, which is beautiful. I love it. And that's not a cigar box. That's actually just a label. And you like the paper? I found trim paper.
Oh.
And it's really pretty. But I'm going to put a Ben Baker pickup in there.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to put. So I've got 2. I've got 1. Sorry, I've got 1 because I've given you one. I've got one of these flat pups.
Yeah, well, the one you gave me, that's the one I'm going to use on Zach's guitar.
Beautiful. And this one that I did, I'm actually going to... I'm thinking I'm actually going to fret this. I'm actually thinking about fretting it. Because, again, Australian customers don't want fretless guitars, and they don't want piezo. So... That's what I'm going to do. Well, my customers don't. My customers want to... I think it's probably because I'm a bit of a metalhead. I'm a bit of a rocker. So I think when people watch my videos, that's the people who are connecting with the things that I like. So we'll go with that. All right. So
I'm
again,
thinking about using this for a top of a guitar.
Oh, did you put that? Did you make that?
I started, and then I had trouble trying to find something to use for a bottom of it.
Oh.
But
that's right. That's 3 pieces of timber laminated. I've almost finished Alex's guitar too. Almost.
So I've got stuff that I want to do, but and like I don't know if you can see out the back. Yeah.
Well, not now. I'm looking at your face.
let me flip myself.
All right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It is nothing but a crap fight.
Oh, it looks great out there, mate. Looks great. Good old Aussie bush. Back it onto the bush in the suburbs.
So, but, like, I'll eventually get around to it.
Yeah.
Maybe when I retire. I might get some things finished.
Well, looks good. All right, mate.
All right.
I'll give you a buzz later today when I'm back in the workshop. I've got to finish Alex.
Yeah.
I want to finish Alex's guitar today. So I've got a bit of work ahead of me today. We've got to go out. So that's my job today.
I feel like I should say, when I say Alex, I mean my grandson.
Yeah.
Not Alex Letcher.
Not ALX Guitars, Alex. That's it. So everybody, do yourselves a favour. If you haven't seen what Alex is doing, go over and check out his Facebook account, Alex Lechner, Lechner, at ALXGTRS. Go and check him out. Very giving person, and I'm very, very, very thankful. So quite wonderful. We'll do some more videos with it as well. It's a dangerous creation. It's I'm gonna have to figure out how to. Probably won't be able to be too I won't be doing windmills like Townsend, but Pete Townsend windmills with it. So I'll probably take a finger off or something on it. But it's quite an incredible piece, and I'm definitely thankful to have it part of my sonic arsenal. I don't have it in here at the moment because it's still slightly smells of, I think he's used epoxy on it or something. So it's just slightly got and so once it's downstairs just dissipating and gassing off at the moment. So, but that's it, man. Yeah. All right. Well, happy days.
All right.
A big to Jesse and Joe for being too busy to join us today. I'm sure they have their reasons.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm speechless.
I know. Our noses are up in the air and we've got a hoity-toity look in our face. Oh, how dare. All right. Everybody, thank you for listening. Again, deep appreciation to Ben and the team at CB Giddy for sponsoring the show, to Steve Harvey and Cindy Morris for helping out with everything Killer Strings and helping support Killer Strings Australia get off the ground. And thanks, Darren.
All right. Thank you,
buddy. All right, and we'll catch you on the next show.